This is going to be the day one early access review, if you will, of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero or Budokai Tenkaichi 4. I'll save you a lot of time. It's just average. It's not anywhere near what the hype suggests. A lot of people will say the total opposite. I'm not here to speak for them. I'm speaking for me and why. Coming from Tenkaichi 4 to this. Again, I'm one of the OG guys that's been doing this since Tenkaichi era, and what I'm noticing I'm not liking. And starting with the menu system, it used to be one whole layout. Now you have to scroll through pages by pressing the right bumper, and it just makes the game feel way more clunky because every time you do that, as you see, there's a transition, and the transition is not skippable. So this really slows down your ability to get in and out of what you want to do. But then let's say, again, for other things, like let's say I want to go into story mode and I'll go into episode battle. One thing that really bugged me personally is the difficulty level for just normal. I understand that there are people that like competitive play, let them have that, but for everybody else who's a casual player, it's really annoying because you only have the change difficulty option being the LT. You hit the left trigger and it'll just tell you that the difficulty has already been changed, but they don't give you the traditional easy, hard, normal, medium, ultra hard, very hard, whatever. You have to go through this like bullshit menu system of like trying to guess what difficulty they dropped it down to. I don't like that shit. It never was like that, and the fact that it's like that in this game really sours the taste. Let's say you want to go back out of the menu, say, you know what, I'm not really feeling it, I don't want to do it. If you try to go back and leave, okay, you press the back button, it doesn't work. Why? Because this year you have to press and hold the back button. This again adds to the clunky, bulky feeling weighing down your experience, making it way less than ideal. So again, let's say you want to, I don't know, play the game itself. You can go in and, again, I'll show you just some of what it looks like. You have 1 versus CPU and all that good stuff, which is good. Okay. But one thing that I'm noticing is that, again, everything is just kind of blah. Like, it doesn't feel great. You have the weak, super, and all that in the regular, like, gameplay modes, but in story, it's just kind of like whatever they give you is a reduced mode from... I imagine that's them saying they put it to weak, but they don't ever explicitly tell you that. And there's no super setting for those who want to be super competitive either. Personally, I think normal is just way too hard. It is way too freaking hard. Again, they need to do some scaling on that to actually make it normal, or again, maybe... But again, it's day one too. A lot of people are going to have issues with picking up the new controls because these are not the same classic controls. Yes, you can revert back to the classic controls, but after doing the tutorial, it mixes things up. So again, if you haven't gotten to this part, just make sure you already set it to classic controls or you're just going to screw yourself up. Again, it's really not that great. I think my expectations were higher than what reality could provide. And again, going in and just doing all of this is kind of whelming, is what I would say. So let's say you want to add a character, okay? Most of the characters are locked. Big shock there. I don't think anybody expected everybody to be unlocked. So you do have to put a substantial amount of time in, I imagine, to unlock these characters, which again, does suck. Because I don't really like grinding out. I wish there was some sort of way of accelerating this. Now again, you weren't able to do that in the last game, fine, won't gripe about it too much, but I do want to go in and show you just the difficulty because we are in the normal difficulty. And we're just going to pick one character, and this is our character that we select, okay? So now I want to just move on or go forward. And all my options seem to be are confirm, which you confirm, and that takes you over back to the main menu here. And let's say I want to start battle. I hold X to start the battle. It will literally randomly pick a character for you. I don't like that. Like, you should be able to do 1v1s and all that without an auto-generated character. Now, maybe I just, at this time of recording, haven't found a way around this, but I don't think it should be this difficult to find the basic stuff that in the last game, Tenkaichi 3, we were able to find without incident. Also, you notice how ultra-aggressive, even on normal, the game is. It's just... I don't know why they do this, where they think all we care about is this super difficult competitive play. They're doing all the advanced moves, like you know, the dragon rushes or all that crap, perfect smashes. They're not supposed to be doing this on normal difficulty. It's like a mechanic issue. They're reversing fucking everything. They're going toe-to-toe with you. They're on your ass like white on rice. That's hard difficulty, okay? And to call this normal is bullshit, because Tenkaichi was never this difficult. Ever. And I think that's going to really deter a lot of new players that don't really feel like playing on easy because, you know, the stigma attached to being an easy player. Just because they wanted to tune the AI to be super freaking aggressive, it just sours a lot of the experience. Is it beatable? Yeah, sure, of course. I mean, come on. It is beatable. It's just annoying. And I think that's my big thing. It's like, I don't really like being annoyed to have to try to, okay, now let me really lock in. Let me really try to figure out how this game is going to be. You know, I just want to enjoy it. And I think that this is taking a lot of the enjoyment out because it's a lot more clunky is what I would say than the last game, where, again, the last game wasn't clunky, it was fluid, and it just made sense. Where this, again, I'm not really feeling like, again, it's this upgraded version, in my opinion. Now, again, as you can see, you can beat the regular difficulty, but you have to try harder. And, again, as a casual player, which is why I like the Tenkaichi series, you know, because back in those days, it wasn't about online play and all this bullshit that the kids today care about. You know, it kind of sucks that you have to sit here and try to be like some super intricate player if you don't want to play on the ultra weak level of the game. So that's one thing. Now, you do have a bunch of different arenas and everything, and that's great. That's wonderful. I think that's good. You can change background music all the same. They give you a bunch of different options with that. So, again, people will be happy with that. Again, I have no problem with that aspect of it. The biggest issues are how clunky it is. Pressing and holding the B button every time you want to go from menu to menu is just stupid. But the funny thing is, I can tap the B button to go back to the title screen, which is so stupid because I should be able to do that when I'm in the actual modes that I want to get out of. Like, let's say we go over to Zeno's orders, right? And I want to get out of it. If I want to get out of it, I can't just do what I did a second ago and like tap the B button. Tapping the B button does nothing. It literally it does nothing, and so you have to end up pressing and holding, and then you can leave. It might sound small, but this is, I kid you not, going to add to a very clunky feeling that this game has. And the general vibe of this game right now is just like, why? That's kind of how I feel right now. Like, I'll show you what I'm talking about as well when I tell you like the difficulty is just in story mode way too high, and it's kind of, that's where all your main characters are locked behind. The story mode, which by the way is extremely poorly done because it's all just slideshow bullshit for the most part, and you're sitting there on things that they didn't do the full voice lines. Say what you will about Tenkaichi 3 at the time, but at least they went through everything and made sure that you weren't, you know, you weren't reading text and all this. And it gets to this point where it's literally like stop motion. It freezes frame, like right now. Freeze frame right here, and you gotta sit here and you gotta read all of this nonsense. Look at this. It's ridiculous. Slideshows, really? And again, if you paid for the $100 version, you would expect for them to put that effort into making sure the game's story was more than a fucking PowerPoint. This is a PowerPoint right now. And only when you finally get past that and you go into other aspects of the game, you get some cutscenes that are cutscened out, and then it go right back to, pause right here, now we're back to PowerPoint mode. It kills the experience. It really does. And so I end up skipping most of what the gameplay would be just to get to the actual cutscenes because they're so few and far between that it just doesn't feel like the same thing that we had. And it really does feel like we've lost something. Something special where, again, everything was like this. You have text at the bottom, they're talking, they're moving. That's how the whole story mode used to play in Tenkaichi. And now it doesn't. And now it's this PowerPoint bullshit. And when the technology is better, we should have the best cinematics ever that beat out Dragon Ball Kakarot. Alright, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, but we don't. And that's something that really bugs me. It's very like, it's the typical Bandai Namco game where it's like, hey, we're enemies on a screen. We're going to pause right here and stay in this pose. There's nothing dynamic to really drag you into the anime or the story. And for me, that sucks. And then again, I tell you about the difficulty level of this, but like, especially when you fight the Great Ape, really annoying. Again, to which there are people that play way harder games that be like, I had no issues. It's just a skill issue. Yes, it's day one. This is a day one review of, again, the early access, how it is, and again, comparatively thinking about what we had before, what we're considering this to be, again, this is no Tenkaichi in my opinion. This is like, it's like a Raging Blast 3. It's not Tenkaichi. Because to call it Tenkaichi would be dishonest. I don't feel the Tenkaichi vibe. I feel more of a Raging Blast vibe, and worse than that, a clunkier Raging Blast vibe. Because again, even frame rates have a moment where they just look a bit rough. And again, I'm running a high-end PC. There shouldn't be this roughness in between the particle effects and things like that there are. Now, most of the game is fluid when you are fighting, but again, there are just those moments that you can notice that he gets tripped up a lot. And I feel like that's maybe because they were ambitious. Think like Dragon Ball FighterZ, how even though you can have a bitchin' ass PC, it's never truly ultra smooth when you see particles. I think that's what's going on here, and it's just kind of lame. I don't really like that approach, but again, to each their own. But what I'm showing you here is a game that, like, everybody is probably going to be playing. I'm not saying it's a bad game or anything like that, but what I am saying is comparatively to what we were expecting, at least as OG guys, you know, they started, I think where they really screwed us over is they started off with the Tenkaichi 3 gameplay. And we're like, oh yeah, we're bringing back the Budokai Tenkaichi series. And we're like, oh shit. A lot of expectations were there to be very similar to what we had, and then here we are again. PowerPoint. 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 I don't want your PowerPoint slides. Literally pictures of your gameplay. Literally frozen screenshots with words on them. Why would I want to play a game with screenshots with words on them? I don't understand. And they are charging $109 for this as if they've done something robust with the story, which is usually where a lot of the budget goes for those who don't know about game making. A lot of it goes into hiring directors and actors of the cinematic storytelling. So they're charging $109, and it's not like, let's say, Mortal Kombat 1 levels of epic as far as the presentation. I don't understand. Because this is literally the typical Bandai garbage we've seen. This is literally every bit as dated as we've seen back in the day too, with the way that it would literally pan, and it's very slow, and they just talk, and there's nothing really truly cinematic about this, and you've got to skip all the freaking dialogue. There's no like auto feature either, where you can just let them talk and let it go and play through, like in, again, Dragon Ball Kakarot. Again, we're talking about the story mode aspects because early on, outside of the people that just rush online and don't care about the story, that's kind of all you're going to be able to do. Now, I understand, too, that this is probably a Dragon Ball Raging Blast type game for people who love the online element, and that's what they live for. I'm not one of those people. I didn't fall in love with this series because it was online, because, again, as I stated, we didn't have online back in the PS2 era, like, not for the game that, you know, not for this game. And to see people like only be about online and the rest of the gaming experience falls short is just lame. And then again, you're seeing these like rapid spikes in difficulty, like depending on who you're fighting. I mean, look at how on your ass they are. Like, you really have to know your shit, and there's no fucking way you're gonna know that much of the game day one with the new controls that they've implemented. It just doesn't. It doesn't follow. I mean, you're gonna get baked, and you're clearly seeing it happen here. And yeah, sure, there are those people that sit there with, again, no life, and they have nothing better to do, no kids to raise, no wives or families to tend to, that can just sit here and be pro-level players and never, ever, ever get beat up at all. But again, you're gonna take a little bit of a beating if you're a normal person with a normal life, and I don't think that's being represented fairly either. The point of this, again, isn't to trash this game, is to let you know that it is a far cry from what the expectations were. Even right down to, like, you know, when you summon Shenron, you would expect you to have some, like, super cool stuff, right? And it's really stuff like just money and costumes, and it's not like, how do I put this? It's not like they give you, like, what a reward worthy of what Shenron is. Like, the Super Shenron, if you want extra characters, all you get is Goku Black or fused or fused Zamasu or whatever it is. It's like you don't really get that feeling like collecting those Dragon Balls really did much of anything. At least that's how I feel about it. And when you want money, like you collect the freaking Dragon Balls, right? Okay, the only thing you get to do is get 300,000 Zenny. That's not gonna buy you anything in this game. Like, at all, and you'll quickly see just how little it'll buy you, and then you'll be disenchanted by the whole thing. And then the cutscenes like this, really low resolution. They're like 700p, and then they pause into a screenshot. It just feels lazy. Like, truly like a cash grab for people like myself who have been wanting a proper game for a while and have not gotten it. And I'm not even joking. Like, the disappointment set in so heavily to the point where I'm just like, man, this like actually bites. I mean, they do a good job with graphics and everything, and that's wonderful when you're in the game, but I really wish story mode would have been fleshed out a little better than this. Now, also, let's exit story mode, and I want to show you something else, okay? One thing that I think you'll probably like or not like, I don't know, is the price of things. So, for those who like replay value, well, rejoice, because this game will keep you on it for a long time because of the price of things. So, remember when I told you the Dragon Balls were 300,000 zenny for collecting the Dragon Balls? Well, if you want to go into like the custom shop, for example, and you want to start buying the extra outfits, look at the price of some of these things, is what I'll tell you. I got to go back because I selected the wrong thing, and let's go to shop. And again, I really hate not just being able to tap the back button. I have to hold it. That really slows things down. Okay, so let's go to outfits. I mean, just take a look. Remember what I told you. Wishing on the Dragon Balls gives you 300,000 zenny. That's it. Okay, you're talking about Ultra Instinct Goku. Sign is 120,000. Majin Vegeta is 105,000. Freaking damn 105,000 for Super Gogeta. I mean, you see what I mean? Like 90,000, 30,000, 60,000. I mean, the price points are just too high. I mean, 120,000 for I don't know how to say his name, and I don't know, the freaking big thing here. You know, you're gonna run out real quick of your money, and I'll show you. I'm not just gonna tell you. I'm that guy. I'll show you. So look, we're gonna buy this guy since he's a big character. We're gonna purchase. Okay, we're gonna buy Gogeta, right? We're gonna buy our Frieza. We're gonna buy our Majin Vegeta, right? And as you're clearly seeing, now mind you, this is for characters. Here's the part where it sucks, because yes, sure, you can get extra characters, but if you go over to their outfits, look at the price of their damn outfits. 300,000 for Mid Goku. 300,000 for his freaking Yarderit outfit. I mean, you see what I mean? Like, you're paying a lot of money for this stuff. And I mean a lot of money. To the point where it doesn't even make sense. Super Vegeta outfit, 300,000. You know what I mean? Like, it just... 300,000 for Gohan's outfit. It doesn't make sense. So you're going to be on this game for a minute, grinding, trying to get the zenny to try to be able to buy all of these various different appearances and outfits. I mean, like, really, 300,000 for Frieza Soldier outfit? Come on, bro. Like, this is the stuff that bugs me with the game. It's like, they make the prices really high, and I just don't really see it. I mean, when you collect the Dragon Balls, they should have at least given you a milli. That should have made the most sense. But again, that's maybe just me griping and people not agreeing, which is fine. Which either way is cool. But just showing you what my experience has been with this game, and my frustrations really day one are with this game, because there are frustrations. And I don't think, like, if you go into it just expecting a Dragon Ball Z game, you'll be disappointed at all. But if you go into it expecting Tenkaichi, you go into it expecting that experience, you're going to be let down because of all the things that I've mentioned. And again, only you can decide what will, you know, be something you're let down by, I guess. I mean, it's ultimately up to what we perceive and what we wanted. But I can tell you, like, just buying the Gohan outfit alone would clear out all of my inventory and all of my money. And that's just unacceptable. Like, the fact that it's that much of a hard time in this game. But that's just me griping. I know a lot of people like the replay value, and they probably won't see much of what I'm talking about. But just wanted to give you a really thorough, like, day one kind of, you know what I mean? You have 3 types of dragons you can summon and everything too. I mean, really. But I don't like having to use the right bumper to switch menu options. So you can use the left stick if you want. They don't really tell you that on the home screen. They just say change the screen by pressing left and right, but you can literally just change it with the stick too. But again, it's just, it feels slower, feels clunky, and a lot like an examples like when they do the transitions, like at the start of that sequence with Hercule and Goku, that's like 720p right there. Like, and then it goes into higher resolution after like the video footage plays. That's something they really need to fix. Now, thank God, I'm on PC. I'm sure modders are going to find a way to fix this crap like ASAP pronto. But this is something that I think day one, the growing pains of this game you're going to deal with. And again, of course, there will be patches and they'll be fixing things in its early access and whatever. But these are the things that I found. So in the midst of everybody glowing and telling you to run out and buy it and buy the most expensive version of this game, just know that it's closer to Raging Blast than it is Tenkaichi. And those two are very different. And if you're not prepared for that difference, then this probably might be disappointing to you as it has been for me. Not to say it's not redeemable, but it's just a disappointment and it's something to watch out for. Thanks for watching the #1 brand in honesty, and until the next video, I'll see you guys later.